Hey folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. So I just wanted to make a special video here on all three platforms: YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and also this will be on Twitter later. But thanks to everyone who's supported in various ways my recent road trip back to New England. And I know that I kind of labeled this video back home, but the funny thing is, I feel like I have several homes now, which is kind of a good feeling to have. Maybe I don't have I won't get into the dirty details, but I've lived enough life and I've got enough friends and family to an extent in different parts of the world that I do feel kind of comfy in various spots. And I went up to New England at the bequest or the friendship of my buddy Tommy DeNucci, great guy, and a great young director of films. And he's doing this thing that he co-wrote with our other buddy Nick Principe, Johnny and Clyde, which is kind of a modern day spin on Bonnie and Clyde. Now I feel like I'm safe now to speak about the film a little bit, just to say that Megan Fox has a major role in this. Bei Ling, I believe, is the lady's name. You might remember, I believe, from The Phantom Menace, 2005. My buddy David Gear is involved. Verdi Productions, Chad Verdi, father and son, and congratulations to the second Chad Jr., for having another child. So he's a father two times over now. Very exciting. Uh, so, and also the makeup ladies were very nice. The wardrobe, Audrey, and makeup Morgan, and the hair. My good friend Lori Grenier was very excited to see my long hair now. So I had a good time on set. But on top of that, I got to see my buddy Moro. His family was very gracious to me during my trip, and my buddy Tim Labonte and I really got down to business, and we made a wonderful web series that will be coming to you in the next couple of weeks. So I just wanted to say all that to the hardcores, to the people watching that are hardcore, subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel, fans, friends, and so forth. I had a person recently in my life tell me that she watches YouTube quite a bit, but she's reluctant to subscribe to anybody's YouTube channel because she thinks she's have to pay an extra fee, or there'd be some type of membership price. Well, that's not true. I don't know. I guess the word subscription threw her off, but you don't get charged anything for subscribing to me or anyone else on YouTube. You're actually just helping the content creators, as we say, out a little bit by getting their numbers up. You do need to have 1,000 subscribers to be in the ballpark of monetary gain for this thing. And I'll tell you, I have crossed that threshold, but I think my next goal is 10,000. And I'm hoping that this new exciting web series, folks, which I'll soon be releasing the teaser from, and then episodes 1 through 4, I hope it's going to put me over that edge. Now, just as a little shout out to Mike's Meals, one of the popular playlists, I came all the way back to Jacksonville. I headed right to the coffee house, but before I went to the coffee house, I went to the Rose here, and I wanted some hot food because the coffee house is great. Trust me, it's a great place. I've even done podcasts there, but unfortunately, they have a limited selection of hot foods. They have one sandwich there that I've had about 1,000 times at this point. The same sandwich over and over again, not the exact same sandwich, but the same menu item. So I kind of go over to this grocery store to get some fresh hot food. And I don't know if you guys knew this, for you bachelors out there or bachelorettes, you can actually go into a grocery store and sometimes they have this food sitting around under the heat lamps, and it's kind of affordable. It's cheap, in other words, and it's like maybe a little bit more nutritious than a fast food item. So I'm having macaroni and green beans. I passed on the chicken and potatoes dish. Here's a little situation. I went to get this nice kombucha, which is $2.69. I made some type of tactical error. I always do the self checkout. I like to pump my own gas, and I like to check my own groceries for the most part, unless there's an attractive cash register person, then I'll go to that line. But in this situation, you never see an attractive gas station attendant, by the way. You never see a female gas station attendant. They're always guys. But in this situation, I'm getting the kombucha. It's $2.69. And then somehow I screwed up and the whole thing locked up. And it said, enter your employee ID. I'm pushing all the buttons. It's telling me that the item is not being bagged properly. I don't know what to do. This wonderful lady comes over to help me. She's an employee. And I always feel kind of guilty. Do you feel this way when you use the self checkout line and then you get jammed up and you need their help, like the regular people who are working there, and then they have to come over and kind of like hold your hand through this scenario, and you kind of feel like you've insulted them by not going to a cashier line because now they have to come over and anyway bail your ass out, and you feel kind of guilty. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm leading to you getting fired because you're going to be replaced by the machines. And here I need you anyway. I need you. Well, the lady, I don't know if she just took a shine to me or my long blonde hair, or she just enjoyed my presence, or she just fucked up because instead of entering the item as $2.69, she faux pod, she erred, and she entered it as 69 cents. So I don't know if she was sending me some hints and rumors and allegations with that numeric choice, or if she just erred and saved me $2. So I'm drinking this kombucha for a fraction of the price. So thanks to the anonymous lady who fucked up, or maybe she was making an entendre with me. But in any event, kombucha, as I've mentioned, Johnny Z was questioning my kombucha flavorings, and the reason why I drink it is because of the probiotics. I haven't had a kombucha in 2 weeks. I haven't seen a movie in a movie theater for 2 weeks. You know how it is, folks. When you're on the road, when you're traveling up and down these roads, as we say, you don't get all your shots in, you don't get all your stuff in. It looks like we've got some comments. Mike Pucci, what's up, Mikey? Okay, well, we're going to segue, folks. Thoughts on the latest AEW? Well, Mike, the kombucha is very good, buddy. Mike, I did do a video this morning, actually, but I'm going to give you some exclusive extra thoughts. I'm glad you asked, actually. But what I'm going to give you some more AEW thoughts, Mike Pucci. But please, Mike, watch my AEW apologist video on Monty and the Pharaoh channel. At week 7, I've been doing exclusive AEW rants for Monty and the Pharaoh. But I'm going to tell you that one match that yeah, it's good, man. Kombucha. I'm going to tell you that this Shida Shida, I can't say her name, the former women's champion, her match with Serena Deeb, I thought was great. And I failed to mention that. I think that was a Rampage match. I'm getting confused because I watched them back to back. Yeah, I did talk about that. The Ghostbusters match, if you're talking about that. Not my cup of tea, Mike. I get it. But the whole thing was they were trying to get Hangman Page in the Stay Puffed outfit to be Steve Austin in the beer truck or Kurt Angle in the milk truck. And I made a whole video about that on Monty the Pharaoh channel where I discussed that a lot of things that the AEW inner elite guys do, the Bucks and Omega and Bang Bang Page or whatever, Adam Cole, I should say, they're so influenced by DX in the late 90s and like specifically DX doing the Nitro gimmick with the tank and doing the Nation of Domination mockery. Yeah, it did look fake as fuck, Mike. I trust you and I agree. I guess for me, and I've said this before, it's convenient morality, or it's when it's people you like, you tolerate more crap. And in this case, it's a wrestling federation that I like. Now AEW, I mean, I could say every time they do something stupid, I could go off the handle like Cornette, and I enjoy listening to Cornette go off the handle, but I pick and choose my battles. And AEW, yeah, it was stupid, it was dumb, but they were really trying to do their Hangman Page, trying to make him over like Steve Austin. Did it work? It was very see-throughable. I mean, the whole thing with the Brandon Cutler guy and the horse thing. But look, Mike, if we're educated wrestling fans, right? So we've seen all this stuff happen a million times. I mean, we've seen angles get repeated. I mean, I think it was 2007. Steve Austin and Kurt Angle both did the same angle, so to speak, with Chris Benoit. They both stole his Olympic gold medals. And I think in one of those angles, I can't even remember who was who. I think Angle was a baby face and stole. No, it was Kurt Angle's medals, and Benoit stole Kurt Angle's medals at one point as like a baby face, and Austin stole him as a heel because Angle had switched and he had switched shows from Raw to SmackDown, but they repeated the same angle in the same calendar year. And I know they insult the wrestling fans all the fucking time, Mike. I get it. The Stay Puff thing was not my cup of tea. I don't know if they got paid off or if there's some type of stuff because they did this before the Elite. But also, here's the thing: the Elite are supposed to be heels, like my buddy Tommy DiNucci, the same guy, said. The Elite and the Bucks are better as heels because you want to punch him in the fucking face. You want to give him a haircut. They look like guys you beat up. I mean, how much does Matt Jackson weigh? 160 pounds. So I mean, that's why they're heels, and in a way, you can say it's effective. I'll just be honest, Mike. I watched it. I didn't like it, but then I'm watching Hikaru Sadu or whatever her name is. She looked beautiful, beautiful woman. I just was kind of amazed at how pretty she is. I never realized that before. And Serena Deeb's great too. And if you look at that match and you look at CM Punk, a battle of like a 42-year-old guy versus a 36-year-old guy, Bobby Fish. I thought that was a great match, Punk versus Fish on Dynamite. And I mean, I'm telling you, this Bryan Danielson, he's hitting a career peak right now. In this AEW, he's been rejuvenated. He's having the best matches of his career. Bryan Danielson. I wouldn't say Punk is having the best matches of his career. It's obvious that I kind of think that Punk's going to want to retire early, to be honest with you. I think he might like wrestle a few more matches, maybe like squeeze one big match out. And then if I was Punk, I might say, hey, Tony, give me an announcer job. I can't take these bumps anymore. If you look at Punk, CM Punk, Phil Brooks, he doesn't look entirely comfortable wrestling right now. And I think it could be the 7 years off, but I think he could just be wising up and saying, man, this guy did 2 UFC fights. He got his ass kicked. It looks like Bryan Danielson, to me, is stealing a lot of the thunder of CM Punk in AEW, to be honest, because Bryan Danielson's having killer, awesome matches against Eddie Kingston, against everybody else. I mean, imagine when we see Bryan Danielson versus Darby Allin. What's up, Carl? What's up, buddy? Carl, we will be doing a video soon, buddy. Don't worry about it. I'm back in town now. That's the big excitement. I did want to talk about going on the road a bit, Mike. So if you go with me down this road, Carl, Mike, anyone else is watching, it's just so interesting. They say you can't go home again, but I feel like I did go home again. I went to the Carolinas. I went to Maryland. I passed through Virginia. I saw a lot of friends in New England. I didn't get up to Massachusetts. That was on my goal list. And I did want to get to Long Island, actually, to see Mike Monty and the Pharaoh, but you can't do it all every single trip. This car is really holding on pretty well, so I'm thankful for this car. It's holding up. I did a lot of things up there, guys. I got a third COVID shot. Um, I got a COVID test. I was acting in a major motion picture that Megan Fox will be starring in, Johnny and Clyde. Once again, me and my buddy Tim Labonte made a 4-part series, The Philadelphia Experiment. You guys are going to love it, wrestling fans, non-wrestling fans, but especially Mike Messier fans. This is Mike Messier all day and night. What's up, Mike? Strong Island. Yeah, man. I definitely wanted to see those guys. And I know Monty especially would have liked to have seen me, but I couldn't work it out. I had to get back here eventually. I ordered some DVDs and books. That's good, Carl. I ordered a bunch of shirts. I had some friend of mine suggest some fashion choices for me. He said I'd look good in what's that brand, the Tommy Bahamas. So I ordered all these goddamn Tommy Bahama shirts, and they all came while I was gone. So hopefully people picked them up for me. Uh, Someone asked me, Mike, what was your best meals on the road? Good question. The old fish and chips. Anyone's in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, or going through. The old English fish and chips is a great Mike Messier tradition. Was able to get there and have some fish and chips. Cello's, great place called Cello's. If you ever seen Thanksgiving, my 7-minute short film about Thanksgiving, Cello's sponsored that short film. So that's a great place. I had a big sundae there, an ice cream sundae. Beef Barn was fun in Rhode Island, North Smithfield, Rhode Island, and a lot of pizza. That I jokingly said, but it's unfortunately not a joke. I don't think I had one vegetable in the last 2 weeks. I just had some green beans. I didn't eat very well on the road. What's up, Adam? What was the wrestling podcast rotation on the way back home? Great point. I actually on the way back home, I've been listening to Defiance on Audible for free. It's included. Defiance is actually more about sports and people that have protested in sports. I believe the guy's name is Michael Johnson, American Olympic track winner, gold medal. And he's talking about Muhammad Ali. He's talking about Kaepernick. He's got like 9 episodes. I'm on the last episode. I'm going to do a book review. But to your point, Adam, I listened to Arn. Arn Anderson is talking about his whole career. He's in 1986. That's the sweet spot. JCP, Jim Crockett Promotions. I listened to Jeff Jarrett and Conrad. I kind of missed some of their episodes on the ad-free app, and they were talking about how they had a big fight. And so I had to backtrack, Adam, and I had to find the big fight episode, which apparently was Jeff Jarrett's talking about Steve Austin. And there was some confusion there about if this episode was about the entire Austin Jeff Jarrett relationship, which is what I assumed it to be, or if it was just about one promo. And I'm on Team Jarrett on this one because I don't think, how can you have a podcast about just one promo gone awry? I'm actually on Team Jarrett on this one. I did do some research into the Eric Bischoff, Tony Khan thing, Adam, which I did a whole video on. That's a nice 30-minute interactive. I think you were on that, Adam, as a matter of fact. What else did I listen to? I listened to Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro talk about transgender issues. That's a topic that's very interesting to me because it's just interesting to me. And the Dave Chappelle thing, I watched the Netflix special and my friend Moro's. I watched the Netflix thing. And you can come on my buddy's podcast when you're not busy, brother. I will. I've been in touch with someone, Mike. I think the guy's name was Jake or John. And I told him when I get settled back home, we'll do it. And he's been sending me some links, which is nice. I think you set that up. Thanks, buddy. I think it's Jake or John, if I'm not mistaken. So what else? I watched the Chappelle show. I'm trying to remember if I did a response video or not, but I watched the closer, the Dave Chappelle thing. I mean, look, I'm not in the group that's being offended, but I wasn't offended. And you know what? It's comedy. And I think Jamie Foxx said it best on the Howard Stern show, or maybe it was Rogan's show. You got to let us be funny. You got to let us do comedy. What's Carl saying here? Remember Clint Eastwood Western movies? Oh, yeah. I love Clint Eastwood Western movies. And I just saw the new Clint Eastwood movie about a month ago. What the fuck was it about, Carl? I saw the Clint Eastwood movie, the new one, Cry Macho, about the chicken. And there's been a series of these like movies with a veteran actor, Tom Hanks or whoever else, and they're like hanging out with a kid. And I think Liam Neeson did one of these things, and now Clint Eastwood did. Like that's the new thing, like experienced actor making a movie with a child. Jake Hudson, he's an encyclopedia on wrestling. He's also been on Bubba the Love Sponge show. Well, I won't hold that against him. Just kidding. I'm not too familiar with Bubba, except the whole Hulk Hogan schmaltz and the Awesome Kong thing. Awesome Kong at one point was married to a friend of mine, another wrestler. I think his name was I want to say Freight Train or something like that. Nice guy up in the Top Rope Promotions. I'm not too familiar with Bubba, but I'll definitely talk to Jake Hudson because he's been texting me, and we will do a nice thing together, Mike, and we'll give you a big shout out for setting that up, for Yenta-ing that, so to speak, if you look up the term Yenta. So I listened to Shapiro and Joe Rogan last night. I really got into this Defiance book. I've been listening to Matthew McConaughey, Green Lights, which is another Audible book. As I listened to the Jim Ross, it was a Q&A episode, the Jim Ross grilling JR, Adam, which was pretty good. I haven't heard Jim Ross address the cancer topic. Apparently he has some skin cancer on his foot, so I'm pulling for good old JR. And apparently JR has something about marijuana, like JR is doing a marijuana thing. Very good, buddy. You got the James Bond book. And I did a nice review of that new movie, the James Bond film. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. James Bond's an icon, man. Definitely is. Oh, there goes my glasses. So what else? I had a good time on the road. I went through, Fayetteville. I finally figured out after 2 years of taking this trip. I was very insistent on going to Greensboro every single time I went through North Carolina, but I just realized it was basically costing me 2 hours of my life to go to Greensboro. And I'm glad I did go to Greensboro when I did. But now I discovered that Fayetteville is right off 95. I discovered a nice hotel for me to lay my weary head. And so everything's turning up roses. And now it's time to get back to business of being Mike Messier. I mean, I'm going to finish my book, Fight or Play Basketball, which you can read on Kindle. The first 3 chapters are free. I know Adam was very expressing interest in that. It's a Kindle thing. I'll probably eventually write that in other ways, but Fight or Play Basketball, Distance from Avalon, uh, and so on and so forth. Distance from Avalon, When the Dying and the Dead Reunite. But it's been a fun time. I did watch The Crown Jewel, and I did watch the Dynamites and stuff. I didn't see Shotzi Blackheart turn heel. Michael AJ was asking me about that. I didn't watch Shotzi turn heel, so I don't know what's going on with that, but it seems premature. She hasn't even gotten over as a baby face yet, and they're turning her heel. I mean, they really make no fucking sense. You know what I mean? Do I gamble on sports? For the most part, I don't. I'm not. It's not a moral thing, Mike. It's just I really don't have anyone that wants to gamble against me, and um, I don't know. It's just not something that I seek out. I mean, I think I opened a DraftKings account, and it just kind of closed eventually because I wasn't using it. I've got nothing against gambling. I actually like to watch sports just to see who wins. Call me crazy. Guess who's on Twitch? Vince Russo, I would guess. He's on Twitch a lot. So anyway, gentlemen, it's been fun. Mike, Carl, Adam, thanks for all checking in, guys. I've arrived safely. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. If any final comments, get them in quick. I am going to go watch some baseball right now. I am emotionally invested in the World Series, as I always am. I encourage everyone to watch it. I believe we're probably like game four is about probably in the late innings. I've missed quite a bit of it, but I'm going to catch up to it. And thanks for everyone with their concerns, my safety, my travel. One thing about traveling is a lot of people want you to like text them every single time. Thanks, Mike. Everyone wants you to text them every single time you get home and stuff. But the reality is, what's up, Alan? Good to see you, buddy. I actually watched some Landon videos. Landon, who got me some nice subscribers, ASMR. He's a Jacksonville fellow, and he's blown up quite a bit. He's got like 1 million subscribers. So for those of you that are into ASMR, I still haven't figured it out, Adam. But for those of you that are into it, Landon's ASMR is a very good channel, and I have that on my recommended video channels, as a matter of fact, and so on and so forth. So everyone, I did pick the Braves in 7 for what it's worth. I was just in a gate gas station about 30 minutes ago, and some guy had like a Braves hat on and a jacket, and he was telling the other gas station customers that him and his friend just went to the games in Atlanta and how great the stadium was and blah, blah, blah. But I didn't care enough to start talking to him myself. Anyway, folks, thank you so much. Make sure you look out for that Philadelphia Experiment coming soon, the new web series here on Subscribe to Mike Messier channel. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Thank you.